What is up, YouTube? In this episode, I try to spend $850 billion of this year's US military budget on proposed infrastructure projects in California.
Please stand clear of the doors.
The US military gets a huge budget every year, this year around $850 billion, and I was curious to see how much of that money could be used to be spent on something different. Let's say rail transit. This video is a little different than last time, but I was inspired. I'd like to give a shout out to Tech Transit Association for making the original video you can check out probably right down there about how they'd spend money in the Northeast. They gave me inspiration to make my own, and they'll also be coming out with a video on the West Coast, so be sure to catch that one as well. But I'm making one just specifically on California because I live here and I'm biased. But before we begin, let's lay down some ground rules. I will only be covering projects that have been proposed or floated to extent by some official agency, with some budget or estimation of a budget that has not been yet fully funded. This means no fantasy or historical projects like BART to Marin, or projects that are basically funded like Los Angeles Purple Line all the way to UCLA. That's basically done, they finished the drilling. The other constraint is that we're only going to be talking about rail. There's a lot of bus expansion projects in the state, and we would take too much time to talk about all of them. Though my guess is they could all be funded with a fraction of the budget that we're going to spend today. So, let's first start off with the big one, California High-Speed Rail. Everyone already kind of knows about this project. We're going to be connecting Los Angeles to San Francisco via the Central Valley, and it's going to cost $128 billion. I hope this project gets built before I get my AARP card, but this only means with $128 billion, we can only fund it 6 more times every year with this military budget. How could we even afford that? So, as you know, Phase 1 is not yet fully funded, so it can go on this list. The next project, though, starts up way up in real NorCal. None of this Bay Area stuff, where North Valley Rail Commission is looking to spend $285 million on a new service that connects Sacramento with the cities of Plumas Lake, Yuba City, Gridley, and finally Chico, over 90 miles. This project would be limited to 4 round trips a day, but could move over 500,000 people a year. And I'd say for $285 million, this is a steal in terms of American infrastructure and barely leaves a dent in our total spend. This project is expected to actually get done in 2031. So, Chico State students, maybe your younger siblings can catch a train to college real soon. The next project we head to is in Sacramento, with the Green Line extension to the airport. This project will cost $785 million with 19 stations that will roll through downtown, due Natomas until it hits the airport. The SAC RT system is pretty underutilized, to be honest, but this could definitely change things. Let's head to the Bay, the most important part. Come on, I'm biased, of course. And we're going to first start out up north with SMART, Sonoma Marin Area Rail Transit. And they're going to be planning on extending their service in 2 directions, one towards Napa and Solano counties and the other one towards Mendocino County. The Napa connection will be a SMART to Fairfield connector that will split off at Novato and head to Shelville, American Canyon, and then finally at Fairfield Suisun, in which the Amtrak station already exists there today. At a distance for 80 miles, this project would cost a cool $1 billion. The second connection would be towards Ukiah, heading north of Healdsburg, connecting Geyserville, Cloverdale, Hopland, Ukiah, and possibly extending towards Willits. This project is only expected to cost $150 million, as the tracks already exist. This still seems pretty cheap, and I think this was underestimation as this was estimated in 2018. Though I think they estimated as this service only needs to modernize track crossings and build some facilities. Though this got me thinking, if SMART is called Sonoma Marin Area Rail Transit, if we add 3 more counties, do we need to rename it to SMNS Mart? I don't know. Anyway, enough SMART talk. Let's talk about San Francisco, who has 3 projects that I want to fund. Yes, 3. The Central Subway right now connects Mission Bay to Chinatown via an underground railroad, but Phase 3, at a whopping cost of $1.6 billion, would bring it all the way to Fisherman's Wharf. I think that'd be pretty awesome. The next one, though, is huge, and that will be a $15 billion BART project to bring BART down Geary Avenue until 19th Avenue, where we'll go down towards Daly City. This line would be huge for San Francisco and the Greater Bay, and for BART, if they're actually running it, would transform the BART system, as this would add a new line that does not feed directly into downtown. It kind of loops in and around it. I guess it kind of goes into downtown, but it'll be a completely kind of different service pattern that we'll probably be seeing for people using it. The final project, though, is an old one proposed in the 2000s to bury the M line to increase frequencies. This project would be another $3 billion. Now, SF can't be getting all the love in the Bay, so let's talk about Link 21 and giving $29 billion to the second Transbay Tube, which in this allocation would be a dual modal system for both BART and standard gauge trains to travel between the Salesforce Transit Center towards Alameda, adding a new stop there and one in Jack London Square for Oakland. Now that we're in the East Bay, we're going to give $3.8 billion to be building Valley Link, a new rail line that will connect Dublin to Mountain House over 22 miles over the horribly congested Altamont Pass. And let's put another $1.3 billion into Ace Forward, which will add a new service between San Jose, Stockton, Merced, Modesto, and Sacramento. We're getting really interconnected now. Down a little bit, we'll be giving San Mateo and Alameda County a good $450 million to reconstruct the Dumbarton Rail Bridge, adding a new line from Fremont to Redwood City. In San Jose, we'll be fully funding BART to downtown at a cool $12.2 billion, adding stops in Little Portugal, downtown San Jose Deridian, and Santa Clara. We'll also be funding the undergrounding of VTA lines in downtown to Japantown for $656 million for fun and to put a little bit of dent into this budget. I mean, look at it, it's still barely going down. With San Jose out of the way, we'll be giving Santa Cruz some money to build their Watsonville line. This line will reactivate some of old track and add some new ones with 11 stations terminating in Parajo. We're going to see Parajo again, as this is going to be the new stop on the new Monterey rail expansion that will let Caltrain extend all the way from Gilroy to Salinas via Castroville for only $94 million. This is mainly because the station stops already exist and they are being serviced by the Coast Starlight, but this is going to be improving some crossings and some facilities and adding some services to those stations. There's also talks about a line between Monterey and Castroville, but I couldn't find project cost estimates, so we'll leave it be for now. So let's head back to the Central Valley, where we're going to be adding one more project to the budget, and this is going to be the Cross Valley Corridor Service, a new $489 million line between the cities of Huron and Porterville, which stops in Lemoore, Armona, Hanford, Goshen, Visalia, Farmersville, Exeter, and Lindsay. This line is probably the most underrated line, as it would bring Tulare County into the fold of the future California high-speed rail, as well as giving them a new train line in general, because the San Joaquin service right now just kind of passes them by in Hanford and doesn't go really through the county. Just a little south, though, we'll be talking about the High Desert Corridor. For $4.3 billion, would connect Victorville and Palmdale. This line is pretty unique, as it will be California's third high-speed rail service, connecting California High-Speed Rail and Brightline West. It's honestly funny, though, because this seems to be a cheaper option than connecting Brightline West and Cal HSR from Union Station to San Bernardino, which is much less of a distance. And now we're finally hitting LA, where we're in for a treat. We're going to be building a lot of new lines. The first one is going to be a $13 billion subway along the Sepulveda Pass, which would connect UCLA and the Purple Line towards the valley along the insanely clogged 405 freeway. I remember living in LA and having to sit in traffic on this road. It's always busy from 10 p.m., 1 a.m., 3 a.m. It doesn't matter. So this is going to be amazing. The next line would be the K extension to Hollywood. For a cool $14 billion, this line would extend north of the existing K line terminus and go through Mid-City towards Hollywood, crossing the Purple Line and ending finally at the Red Line. Probably the most consequential projects in Western LA, and honestly we need 3 more of these north-south lines just in West LA, if we're being honest. After that, we're going to give $2.2 billion to a Green Line extension from Redondo Beach to Torrance. They have really good Japanese pasta in Torrance if you're in the area. And let's give another $6 billion to the East Side Transit Corridor project, which will extend the E-Line from Atlantic Station to Whittier via Commerce, Montebello, and Pico Rivera. That closes out LA, and now we're going to be talking about San Bernardino, where we're going to give $492 million to the Ontario Airport Connector, which would also connect Ontario Airport to Rancho Cucamonga Metrolink Station and Brightline West. Further east, we're going to be giving $1 billion to Coachella Valley for their 144-mile Metrolink extension to Coachella via Indio, Mid-Valley, Loma Linda, and Palm Springs. And finally, let's get down to San Diego for our final 3 allocations. First, we'll be funding a $15 billion new Purple Line that will be an outer ring-like transit service between UC San Diego and the border with Mexico at San Ysidro, connecting all 3 existing San Diego lines along the way. We'll be also giving $6.1 billion to the underground version of the Airport Transit Connector that would connect the San Diego Airport with downtown at Santa Fe Depot and the Civic Center. The final budget will go to Amtrak, actually. $1.5 billion to realign the coaster/Pacific Sunliner route away from the water so the tracks don't fall into the ocean again. And that's basically it. So let's look about how much we spent. Maybe we overspent, but I don't think we did. Yeah, this is we have $582 billion left. Like we spent nothing. So let's just fund California High Speed Rail 4 more times every year, and I think we'll be good. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hope I can continue making more videos like this. It was pretty fun doing the research and making this video in general. Shout out to Tech Transit Association for giving me this idea, and I hope this video finds you really well. Have a good one, and leave a comment below on what transit projects you really want to see funded in your place. Thank you.